Welcome everyone to the Air Conservation Commission meeting. This is Thursday, April 22nd, 2021. Due to the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic, Governor Baker issued an emergency order temporarily suspending certain provisions of the open meeting law. Public bodies otherwise governed by the open meeting law are temporarily relieved from the requirement that meetings be held in public places, open and physically accessible to the public, so long as measures are taken to ensure public access to the body's deliberation through adequate alternative means. This meeting shall be broadcast live on Channel 8 and on Zoom. The public may participate remotely by following the call-in information on the bottom of the live broadcast screen. For Zoom meeting information relating to remote participation, please contact Joanne Christoph, Conservation Administrator, at concom@ayer.ma.us or 978-772-8220 extension 143, or Cindy Knox, IT Director, at cknox@ayer.ma.us or 978-772-8220 extension 150. Do we have confirmation of agenda?
We have a couple changes to the agenda. We need to add a public meeting for a request for certificate of compliance, 30 Calvin Street, Daniel and Cynthia Coelho, DEP file number 100-0178. We got this request in plenty of time to get it on the agenda, and I just simply forgot.
What's the address of that? What's the address of that, Joanne, and the people's names?
30 Calvin Street.
30 Calvin.
Yep.
How do you spell their last name?
Coehlo.
And where are we putting that?
I'd like to put that at the very beginning of the meeting, along with the public meeting for request for extension of orders for Littleton Light and Water Department for Speck Pond Vegetation Management.
So just bump that up from lower down?
Yep.
Okay.
These are, the documents are all set. It's just a quick, be very quick. And other than that, the agenda's fine.
Okay. Is there a motion to approve the agenda as amended?
So moved.
Second.
It was moved by George Bacon and seconded by Mark Phillips. We'll do a roll call vote. Jen, how do you vote?
Aye.
George, how do you vote?
Aye.
Jess, how do you vote?
Aye.
Mark, how do you vote?
Aye.
Chair votes aye. One thing that I forgot to do was to tell everyone who is in attendance this evening as far as commissioners, and I'll do that now. We have Jenna Maya as a member. We have George Bacon as member. We have Jess Eugenio as member clerk. We have Mark Phillips as vice chair. Myself, John Schmellenberger, as chair, and we have Joanne Christoph as conservation administrator. All right. Approval of the meeting minutes from the April 8th.
Yeah.
Everyone read the minutes?
Yes, and it took a long time.
It did. There's a lot of them. They're very nicely done as always, Jess. Thank you for doing that.
Thank you, John.
Yeah, in a very timely fashion too. All right, motion to approve the meeting minutes of April 8th as written, 2020.
So moved.
Got a second? Okay. It was moved by George Bacon, seconded by Mark Phillips. Do a roll call vote. Jen, how do you vote?
Aye.
George, how do you vote?
Aye.
Jess, how do you vote?
Aye.
Mark, how do you vote?
Aye.
Chair votes aye, passes unanimously. Do we have any, have a payables report?
We do not have a payables report this time.
Okay, then the first item this evening is a certificate of compliance, request for certificate of compliance at number 30 Calvin Street, DEP file number 100 dash, is it 178?
Yes,
178, that was a while ago.
a long, long time ago.
Yeah, can you tell us, are there any complications or?
No, this was an order of conditions for infrastructure when
Mhm.
Calvin Street Extension was built. There's a box culvert in the part of Calvin Street that's near Blueberry that connects a wetland system um, upstream to Flanagan Pond. And a very diligent title examiner found these old orders that really were only for infrastructure for that project. But the buyer's attorney is insisting on a certificate of compliance. So we don't have a plan showing how that culvert was supposed to be built. I did go out and look at it. It's very modern and looks like you would want it to look. So I've prepared a complete COC, not a partial COC. This way, if any other diligent title examiner digs that deeply to find this ancient order, they will also find a COC.
Okay, so you're happy.
I'm happy.
All right.
I think
we're all-
the lawyers will be happy.
Any discussion? Motion to approve a certificate of compliance at number 30 Calvin Street, DEP file number 100-0178.
So moved.
Second.
It was moved by George Bacon, seconded by Mark Phillips. Your roll call vote. Jen, how do you vote?
Aye.
George, how do you vote?
Aye.
Jess, how do you vote?
I,
Mark, how do you vote?
Aye.
Chair votes aye. Alrighty, so you will get that to them?
Yep, I've got it's all ready to go.
Thank you, Joanne. All right, our next item this evening is a request for extension orders of conditions at Littleton Electric Light and Water Department, Spectacle Pond, Aquatic Vegetation Management. What can you tell us?
what is
about
the
that?
order number on that one, Joanne?
100-0233.
Zero 0233?
Yep. Also pretty old.
Yep. So what can you tell us about this?
This is Littleton's aquatic weed treatment program for Spectacle Pond, and because there's a tiny bit of Spec Pond in Ayer, we have orders. They have orders, we have orders. Their orders were due to expire, although I think because of the state of emergency, they wouldn't technically expire, but they're due to expire in 4 days. So Solitude Lake Management is the contractor, and they reached out with a request for extension. I talked to Dominic briefly about it, and he said that nothing new or different, just doing what they've been doing for 10 years over there. So I went ahead and prepared the extension, and that's all I can tell you.
That's it?
Yep.
Any discussion? Okay, is there a motion to accept or accept it? Is it accept
Just
extension of orders?
extend or approve the extension?
Approve the extension?
Yeah.
of orders of conditions at Littleton Electric Light and Water Department, Spectacle Pond, Aquatic Vegetation Management, DEP file number 100-0233.
This is a 3-year extension.
Is that what it is? 3 years?
3 years, yeah.
3-year extension?
So moved.
second,
All right, it was moved by George Bacon, seconded by Mark Phillips. Do a roll call vote. Jen, how do you vote?
Aye.
George, how do you vote?
Aye.
Jess, how do you vote?
Aye.
Mark, how do you vote?
aye,
Chair votes aye. This, passes unanimously.
All right, so for both of these, because they get recorded at the Registry of Deeds, we had to put the language on about how you authorized me to sign, and your printed names on the document represent your intent to sign. And I have indeed signed in ink on both of those, so
Okay, very good.
ready to go.
Thank you very much. Next item this evening is a discussion about West Main Street culvert safety, stabilization, and restoration plans. And you were out there a while ago, Joanne, and starting to get plugged up again.
I was out there yesterday. I think we've got Dan with us here. He and I have been keeping
Good
an eye
evening,
on
Dan.
things.
Hey, good evening. Yep.
So let me show you if I can share this photo. My camera, of course, focused on the chain link fence, even though I was trying to take a picture of the beaver blockage. Dan has had the DPW do a great job at not only stabilizing the site, but making it ever so much safer than it was before. You can see where my cursor is. They've cut away all the sharp metal that was so dangerous and put jute mats over the soil and stabilized the bottom of that with riprap. You can't really see in this picture, but anywhere there was bare dirt, they've stabilized with shredded
Wood chips. Yeah.
wood chips.
Hmm.
Yep. And this beautiful chain link fence that's so nicely in focus here, it was a temporary construction fencing that they had, and it really does do a very good job of blocking all but the most curious 10-year-old boys from getting around the end of it.
Joanne, is that, or Dan, is that chain link fence on the opposite bank from where the gate was?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a temporary fence we had in stock, and the guys installed it on the south side, the West Main Street side.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's across the whole way. It's wrapped around some trees down.
Mhm.
It's pretty, it covers the area pretty good.
Yeah, I would think.
Yep, it does look really good. So from a safety and no further environmental damage perspective, I think we're in very good shape. But down, you can see that the beavers don't care about what the humans are up to. And kind of up at the top of the picture, you can see the water's piling up back here again. I think I have another photo. This is maybe halfway down the roadway in. The thread of the stream is back here, and the water's, the water's just accumulating. Dan, did the guys have a chance to clear that today?
No, they're going to do it tomorrow. And I spoke to them about, obviously doing a slow release. to not scour anything and obviously not hurt the new stabilization that's in place. So they're planning on it tomorrow. They were busy out patching and everything today that was scheduled, so they had asphalt. That's the current plan to clear the recent blockage.
All right, so this will be the second time in 10 days that the beavers have plugged this back up again. So I think I would recommend that the commission have a discussion about whether to get Mike Callahan to come out and install a beaver deceiver, knowing that it's gonna have to be moved when we move on to the, what we do next here.
Hmm.
So I think that's a conversation between the commission and Dan at this point to see.
Yeah, yeah, and I think, that'd be a good idea. Otherwise, we're gonna be out here every week
Mhm.
dealing with the issue. So if that is something the commission wants to do, they could probably just, send a letter to DPW saying this is what we want to do, and then we could get it done was my thought, but I'll, let the commission discuss.
Dan, do you know if it's going to be returned to a culvert, or is it just is that going to be removed? Do you have a sense at all?
We don't know, but I'd say like 90% chance it's gonna just be opened up because we don't have a need for that road. And if we were to want to use that road, we'd have to do some work on it. It's not very stable. It would have to be, you'd have to probably have guardrails along it and things like that. It's nothing we need. So it's probably gonna be opened up just like further east of there, there's an area similar that there's no culvert.
Yep.
And there's no issue with regards to, emergency egress possibly and or fire egress in utilizing that road at all?
We have another area, we can get out on McPherson Road through the DPW. The DPW is a 50-acre site. It's pretty big. So yeah, we don't need it for that.
Okay, all right. If if it ends up, culvert ends up going away, who knows what might happen in the future, I guess. Joanne, is that something that from a beaver deceiver perspective, I mean, it could be made long enough so that, we've invested the money in it such that it could be redone, or I should say, the material could be reused in the event a culvert does end up going back in there, would you say, or?
Oh, I would think so. The primary piece of equipment for a beaver deceiver is probably a 12-inch, really quite flexible black corrugated pipe. I don't know what the name of that specific kind of pipe is.
Okay.
It's HDPE typically. Yeah.
Yeah. And
That's just like 10-foot sections, right, Dan?
They come in, I think 10 and 20.
Okay. All right. So there'd be no issue, again, if we needed to extend it in the future or something like that, you just add on another section or two to put the baskets out further out into the water, right, Joanne?
I think so.
Okay.
I went to an MACC conference session on, and I love this word, this pair of words, fluvial geomorphology, which is just the shape, the geological shape of rivers, and restoring this is the Nonocoitious Brook that runs down through here, and its floodplain. And this roadway and the one closer to town are really act like dams in a way. So I think restoring this is really more than just taking out the culvert and having steep banks. I would think we might want to open it up wider so we could have less steep banks and have more room for the brook to ramble around the way brooks do. Um,
Yeah, we would have a design consultant probably look at it, survey it, and do the, hydraulic calculations and factor everything in to make sure it's designed properly.
Yeah, that would be good. The guy who gave this talk was from Interfluve, which is a river, their national river restoration consultants. It was just great. But so we've achieved Robert's first goal, which was to make the site safe, and his second goal, which was to stabilize it. And I'd say we're there too. And so now we've got to move on to thinking about what happens next. And I think really we've got to do something about the beavers, which just means deceiving them.
Now-
Dan, would you suggest that we just put together a letter to DPW and what's the best way to approach this? To ask or?
Yeah, and I just in the letter, I guess, just describe what you want to do, and then we can, just take it and say, yeah, that's okay. I think that would probably be best. I talked to Mark briefly about it, and that's kind of what he was saying. Yeah, just send a letter about what they're going to do, and then we'll be good.
Okay,
I mean, we did get money last year at town meeting in our budget for just this purpose. And when you eventually get to where you're gonna do a permanent solution, that would be a notice of intent, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
Do you have an idea if that would be like within the next year or sooner
It probably would be once we kind of get our new budgets, I think is when we would tackle it, and we'll have to keep maintaining this temporary for now.
well, and I think Robert said that he would take care of the cost of.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it
I'll have
doesn't-
to, I'll have to discuss it with him, but that's my initial thought. But yeah, see what he thinks.
Okay. Anything else?
yeah, just, would we get advice from Mike Callahan about what level, and the DPW about what level to set the water at, to try to set the water at for the big deception? We don't want it to be just dry mud, because that's a breeding ground for mosquitoes and stuff, but
Right.
we don't want it too high.
Well, and so that really sort of leads into the restoration part of this question is, looking at this photo, this is beaver impounded water levels here. And if we want to set the deceiver at the level that the water more or less stays in the brook, except when there's an extraordinary rain event, then there wouldn't be any water here in this picture that we're looking at. Yeah, I think asking Mike, he has way more experience with this sort of thing than any of us do.
Yep.
The area around it now would technically be bordering vegetated wetlands then, right? Outside of the stream.
Yep.
So whatever's done has to take that into account.
Yep. All right, well, I can draft a letter tomorrow, hopefully, Monday at the latest. And Dan, why don't I run it by you as a draft, and I'll run it by John as a draft, to make sure we're all communicating the right way. And then we can send it after after everybody has a look at it.
Sounds good.
Sounds good. Any other thoughts, discussion from commissioners? Or from anyone who is listening or viewing? No? Okay. Dan, thanks for doing this. It's starting to look much better out there.
Yeah. Yeah, it's been good getting it to the point it is. All right. Yep. Thanks.
Yep. Appreciate it. All right. Then our next item this evening is a discussion of the Autumn Ridge Farm Conservation Restriction Stewardship and Monitoring Report. Do we have someone here who is from Autumn Ridge?
Well, I'm the person that did the report.
Hi. Good evening, Steve. How are you?
Good.
Good. You want to fill us in a little bit?
I'll launch right into it.
Thank you.
Joanne has agreed to help with putting some things on the screen when we need them.
Right, so Steve, let me just tell you what I've got. I've got the wildlife pictures. I've got the National Wildlife Federation sign, the kiosk sign, and I have your 2 maps. So do you want me to put up the CR monitoring walk map first while you're talking?
But that'd be great. Yeah.
Okay,
For everybody's information, I'm the designated monitor for this conservation restriction. I was designated by the Air Conservation Commission in 2010. When we did the baseline work on it. The conservation restriction was established in 2005 when my family, my brother and sister and I sold this land and donated the conservation restriction just prior to it. Beverly's on the call with me, and also I see Chuck Francis from Autumn Ridge is on the call tonight too. So every year I bring a report, and at the end of it, I ask if you want me to continue. So that's my way of continuing my status as your monitor. So this map shows in dark black where it was that I walked in doing the monitoring this year, 2021. It started in, I guess the earliest one is December. And I did some in January, and we had a group walk on January 23rd, that big loop down near the bottom. So I cover pretty much all the boundary, with a few exceptions, but over the years we cover it all. And especially in 2020, the report was a 5-year update of complete photos, and we looked for every boundary marker and noted the ones we couldn't find, and did quite a job. Chuck Francis and John Marion were the 2 Autumn Ridge residents that helped me do that. In the report that I gave you, and all the members have the report Joanne assures me, so I am sort of going down the items in the report. You'll note that there's a list of the Board of Trustees of Autumn Ridge, and they are the owners of this land. The town of Ayer has a conservation restriction, but the owners are the condominium association, and the trustees represent the owners. They have a management company also listed. So if you ever needed to be in touch with the owners of this land, they're listed. Item 1 in the report indicates that firstly, that the beavers stayed active, but they didn't pay much attention to the upper dam, which is at the very bottom of this map with a little beaver sign. But below that,
Right here?
yeah, that's it. Yep.
Yep.
Below that, south of that, is the lower dam, which is not in the, it's on the town of Ayer land, actually. But that dam was given a lot of attention by the beavers. And yeah, there you go. There's the lower dam.
There it is.
5
And it's
minutes,
just-
John?
Yep, that's the lower dam. And both those dams have beaver deceivers. During 2020, there was quite a drought. And these ponds, the upper pond, Rock Meadow Pond, almost dried up. But when the water was high, the beaver deceivers seemed to be working fine. And there was nothing to really note there. I'll go next to the list of wildlife. We've got a huge list of wildlife and animals and birds and all kinds of things. You want to put up the pictures of the bear or the ducks?
Sure.
These are merganser ducks that were noticed on Smith Pond in the spring of 2020. The photos by Chuck Francis. And this is the they call him the teenage bear that was photographed in 2020. That bear has been photographed in 2021 as well, and he's much bigger now. So that bear has kind of adopted the region of Autumn Ridge. But we've
I think these are the other wildlife photos, right?
yeah, that's the trailhead
Yep.
display, and those photos are of all kinds of wildlife, including the herons and the ospreys and porcupines and hawks and all kinds of things. And I think all of those photos are Chuck's photos as well.
Are the ospreys still nesting?
Yep, they're back this year. Yep.
Okay.
They've been observed. First the male arrived and then the female, and last I heard they were cruising around, I think trying to decide which nest to roost on and build. They're probably well into building the nest at this point. Yeah. And the residents of Autumn Ridge are responsible for, and my brother and sister also contribute to this list of wildlife and birds. And it gets to be quite a fun exercise to do that. I just wanted to point out that when I did the group walk, the largest walk on the CR monitoring, I had Chuck Francis, Peg Pfeiffer, John Marion Stoddart, John Bates, Myrtle Lind, and Jean Demert. All of them went with me on January 23rd. And so they get cold weather badges. Also, you'll see down below this trailhead sign, a new sign, and you want to get the big picture of that?
Yep.
You have 1 minute.
Thank you, Jen.
John Marion made an application to the National Wildlife Federation to have our habitat certified. So this is the sign, and we got a certificate, he did, for Autumn Ridge Wildlife Habitat. It was pretty neat.
Oh, that's beautiful.
This
Yeah.
property is recognized for its commitment to sustainably provide essential elements of wildlife habitat: food, water, cover, and places to raise the young. And our list of wildlife proves that that's true. I do want to point out that the trails are a joy to use, a joy to walk on, and they're maintained by a resident crew led by Chuck, and John Francis is John Marion is quite a good supporter of the leadership of that crew. And on Saturday, we're going to do the spring cleanup, and we've got a record number of people signed up to help, 11 people. So we're going to be cleaning up the trails of winter blowdowns, debris, and doing some clipping on Saturday. But the last thing I want to point out in my report is that in the last 2 years, we've noticed geocaching sites on this CR. And there's a map of those. Do you have that map too? Yeah. It's a little hard to see, but there are little circles down near the bottom of the map. Yeah, that's one of them. And sort of left of the habitat name is another one. And down at the bottom, got to move it up. Down at the bottom, very bottom, there's another one right at the point. Yeah. So those are geocaching sites. Does everybody know what geocaching is? It's the modern digitally assisted GPS sport of joining up with this geocaching website organization, and you get to establish website geocaching sites, and then go find them with your locators. And they have a little box and a record inside the box. And we didn't see anything objectionable about these. They were well maintained and no particular problems. All three are on the public access part of this CR. None were observed so far on the private part, residents only. I imagine there's some geocaching sites on the Ayer townland, Pine Meadow land too. I haven't seen them.
I've seen them.
Have you seen them, John?
Yeah, seen them in there. Yeah. Yep.
So we're not making an objection unless you would want to make an objection to those geocaching sites. And I think
I don't know.
that's
Doesn't bother me.
I think it's
that's
actually-
all I have for the report. Happy to answer any questions.
We're at a little bit over time here.
Yeah. I think we need to go and move on, Steve. Apologize. We do appreciate.
Mr. Chair,
Yes, sir. Who is this?
this is David Eartha.
Hey, David. How are you?
Good. Just real quick. Hi, Steve.
Hey,
Long time no see. I know we worked a lot there for about like 8-10 years. And the trail, I just wanted to say real quick that, the trails up by Autumn Ridge are really good shape, and I'm glad to see the pond has come back. And just, there are a lot of people in town that really appreciate that. The amount of work that you put into it, and the amount of stewardship that you put into it. And hopefully, if we can get the town manager to change, we'll be allowed to do stewardship on our side. But your side of the trails look beautiful. And I just wanted to, call and let you know that you're still doing a great job.
thank you.
Okay. Thanks, David.
You're welcome.
So you asked if we wanted to have you continue
Yes,
in this role, and I think, yes, please. I don't
Yes.
think there's there's no one who would object to you continuing this.
I see Jen's got her thumbs up there.
Thumbs up. I don't want to speak for all the commission, but
That too.
we appreciate what you do very much.
Okay, then I'll continue.
All right, thank you. That's
Thank you.
great.
Okay, thank you very much. It's good to see you all, and I'll see you again next year.
Okay. See you
Thanks,
out on the trail.
thanks for everything, Steve.
You're welcome. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Next item for this evening is public meeting continued, request for determination of applicability. Number 43 Willow Road. It's a water line connection at the Tire Recycling Center. And we met on Tuesday,
20th.
the 20th.
Tuesday.
Went out and had a look at the site, and it's always good to get eyes on the projects. I think we walked away, I think you all walked away looking for some guidance on what that you should be doing as far as advancing this project. And other than engineering plans, do commissioners have any other suggestions of what we could give them as some guidance?
Just to talk to our town engineer, Dan Van Shelkwick, about maybe suggestions for horizontal directional drilling under that one, if needed, under that one spot where the culvert needs to be crossed. If you were going underneath it.
That's-
Yeah,
Yes, sir.
I don't know much about what's out there, but I guess I'd have to see what they have to get across. And I think I've heard that it's proposed to be a 6-inch line that would tie into our water main. So obviously there'll need to be a water application, water service application permit filled out with DPW that we have to approve. And they'll need to have proper crossing of that culvert as part of that. So that would be reviewed by DPW.
Anything else? Do you have questions for the commission or for Dan if he's willing?
Great opportunity.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would, I'm Frank Schofield, unlike what my caption says. I was at that meeting Tuesday night. I just want to know what the timeline is on the expectations on the Conservation Commission on how we proceed, what your thoughts are on a timeline when we would get back to you. Is that completely dependent on when we're able to get the engineering plans put together so we could present them, or is that the driver here?
I think
it's the
it
driver.
sounds like the driver's also getting that DPW permit, which would include needing that information on engineering for crossing that culvert.
Okay,
I just had one question for Dan. I think when we were out there on the site walk, we discussed just getting more information on the culvert, and there are 2 gate valves there. And so I think we were discussing trying to figure out opening up both of those and seeing exactly how far down the existing line is.
It should be 5 feet, and I could have our water guys confirm it out there, but typically our water lines are 5 feet below grade. Now, yeah, if you want to touch base offline too, if you need some help getting this moving, you got my email address, so definitely reach out.
Yeah, that'd be great. I think what's the hard part here is that there's the culvert, which looks like it would be right around 5 feet. So trying to determine if the existing line went above or below it.
Yeah, if you can get the depth, then we can discuss, if you go over it, if depending on how shallow it is, you could insulate it, because that'll be much easier than going under. So I will have to, if you can, get that information, that'll be helpful.
Dan, do you have any suggestions on how they could determine that depth? Should they do like a test pit or what?
I don't know what it's like. Is it a really long reach, a really long span out there, the culvert? Can you get to like one end of it and it's kind of close to where you're going to be working? Maybe you can do a, just a quick little survey.
Yeah, I'm going to do a survey, Dan. I'm Frank Schofield, by the way. I haven't met
Yeah.
you.
Okay.
I'm going to do a survey on Saturday or Sunday, so 2 or 3 days, 1 or 2 days or whatever. And I'll be able to get the information on that. And if we can get the information on the depth of the pipe, that would help us immensely.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll see if we have any plans in our record drawings, but I don't remember ever coming across them, but I'll see if there's anything on that culvert.
But to your best of your recollection, you would think that it would be 5 feet, correct?
The water main, yes.
Yes.
Thank you, Jen.
They typically are always 5 feet. Yep.
Okay. All right.
My own sense is, I think once you had the DPW permit okayed, I don't see for myself that we'd have any problem with proceeding very quickly at that point. So,
Agreed.
Okay.
Yeah, the bulk of the work is right in the roadway, so it's not much of an issue. It's just that culvert.
Yes.
Okay.
You touch base me offline and I can send you the water service application. And basically it's like 2 pages and the second page is providing a plan of what you're going to do. So pretty straightforward, but
Yeah,
Right.
so DPW needs a plan of what you're going to do, and the commission needs a plan of what you're going to do.
Okay.
Any other questions or comments, discussion?
Not from me, no.
Okay, Frank.
Joe?
Joe, you good?
But I think, yep.
Anyone
All
else?
right.
Okay,
So,
All right.
Joe, when you're going to want to come back to the commission, give us as much head start on that as you can. Our next couple of agendas are already full. So the sooner you can figure that out, the more likely you are to get
our next
reasonable agenda time.
our next meeting is
May 13th.
13th. It's 3 weeks from now.
Yep.
Could we get them on that, or could we just put a placeholder on that? And then once the engineering plans and the permit are in place, I don't think we'd need much discussion, given they've got no drinking water.
Right, which is a problem.
Yeah.
Well, I will put a placeholder on the 13th, and if you need to go, I think the one after that is the 22nd?
7th.
27th.
I definitely will not be able to attend the May 13th meeting. I'll be away traveling. So we maybe should go for the next one after that.
27th?
Yes.
That's easy. There's room in that hotel.
Great.
all right.
Right.
you,
Thank you.
Yep, thank you too. We'll see you on the 27th.
All right. We'll see you then.
Okay,
Thanks, everyone.
hey, good night. Our next item this evening is a public meeting request for determination of applicability. 87 Littleton Road, Scott and Jacqueline Anderson. And they are proposing to draw from Shaker Mill Pond for watering their lawn and house plants. Is that correct?
Yes.
Yes. All right. Welcome, Mr.
Thank
Anderson.
you. Thank you.
Yeah, do you want to just describe in your own words what it is that you are proposing?
Sure. So we're interested in putting in a sprinkler system for our front yard and backyard. And the location of our house is very close to Shaker Mill Pond. We back right up to it. There's a buffer zone. And the idea was to have all of the irrigation lines, underground within our property border. And then once it got to the buffer zone, we would have the water line be on top of the buffer zone, on top of the ground, so we wouldn't disturb by trenching it in or anything like that. And we figured that would be fine, because within a week it'll be covered with leaf litter and everything else. And then have the line go out into the pond some way, some distance, maybe 5 to 10 feet out into the pond. And we would put a stake or small post into the pond, where we could secure the end of that water line up above the floor of the pond, so we wouldn't bring up or disturb the floor of the pond or any of the muck or mud that would be settled at the bottom of the pond. The pump would be situated up by my house, so there would be no digging or location of a pump in the buffer zone or in the pond or anything like that. It's a fully automated irrigation system that would be set up with access through the internet to my cell phone. I can program it however I'd like. Some of there's 6 zones that are designed by the contractor. 2 of them are actually drip irrigation zones, so the amount of water necessary wouldn't be broadcasted. It'd be dripped specifically onto the certain shrubs that are around the front of the house. And I think if you, there's a rain sensor, so that the system would only go, it wouldn't, would not turn on if there was rain, or if it started to rain, it would sense that and turn the system off. I've been told by the contractor that the system is designed so I can actually connect it or have it connected to the local weather reports, so that if there's likelihood of rain, a high likelihood, 80% chance or whatnot, the system wouldn't turn on. So that, in a nutshell, is the whole idea. I think I provided you, I'm sorry for the lack of my artistic rendering, but I provided you a bit of a drawing. The line that says proposed hose location, not the alternate one, but the proposed hose location is where we would be looking to put the hose, and that would be on top of the buffer zone. The whole thing is we're trying to not look at using the drinking water for irrigation of my lawn and plants. And we thought having such great access to the pond made a lot of sense. Another thing that we're doing on our property is I've actually got about 120 gallons worth of water barrel storage that I'm just about to connect to one of my gutters, so I can use that to also irrigate water a large vegetable garden that I just got done putting in. So that's it.
All right. Well, thank you for
Yeah.
that. Any questions from commissioners?
Sorry.
Yes.
No, go ahead.
Is this something that other people living on ponds are able to do? I'm just not familiar with it at all. And also we have about 5 minutes.
Sure. I quickly, what I can tell you is from all of the irrigation companies that I had come out to give me bids and quotes, every last one of them were like, why not just draw from the pond? It's right there. And they apparently do this all the time. Most people don't go asking for forgiveness or asking for permission. They ask for forgiveness.
Right.
I thought that was the wrong way to go about it. I wanted to do it on the up and up. And I've been straightforward with Joanne from the very beginning about this. And I mean, I don't mean to rat anybody out, but a high official at our own DPW was the first person who indicated to me when I reached out to him, why don't I just draw from the pond? Because I know exactly where you live. So again, it makes logical sense, but I'm just trying to go about it the right way.
Sure.
Jess, you had a comment?
But just two things, given we've had droughts, recent years,
Yep.
what if everybody suddenly started irrigating their lawns this way? What would this do to the water table? One, and then secondly, if we, you know, I really appreciate you coming to us instead of doing the ask forgiveness thing later. But I wonder if we did officially permit this, if we were able to put in provisions that in the case of drought reaching a certain level where the water table, maybe the DPW would have some input here, where the town water table was affected, that would be subject to.
Sure. I mean, I'm amenable to living by whatever regulations, you know, there are, like, you know, restrictions on water usage. I mean, yes, I noticed that the pond had significantly drawn down last year. You know, it didn't go dry. There was still quite a bit of water. I did, and I don't know if Joanne, you saw the email I sent you today in response to the DEP's question. But
I did see it, but not in time, not until I got home. So nobody else has seen it yet.
that's fine. I mean, apparently the DEP had a question of, you know, water usage and its effect on the level of the pond. And I mean, well, first of all, my layman's thought process here is the volume of water that I'm looking to draw out of the pond to do the irrigation of my property is a drop in the bucket to the volume of the water that's in the pond. But and at the end of the day, it's going back into the groundwater and cycling right back into the pond again. So, but nevertheless, I did speak with my irrigation company, and we came up with, you know, an estimate. And there's 6 zones for my property. It's approximately 12 gallons a minute. And if I was to have each zone run at 20 minutes per zone, that's about 1,440 gallons per cycle. Okay. Again, that's a very gross estimate because that's having sprinklers everywhere. And I've already said that 2 of my zones are going to be drip irrigation. So the volume of water necessary to have adequate watering of those plants would be far less than, say, broadcast, you know, sprinkler system.
We have about a minute left.
So that's my explanation, I guess.
Is
Scott,
there
I
a
just got
policy?
a quick question.
Oh, go ahead. Yep.
I'm sorry, John. Scott, do you actually own out into the pond at all, your property?
My property, according to my understanding, goes right to the pond edge.
Okay. Who owns the pond? Do you know that, Joanne?
No, I don't off the top of my head, but that's a good question to get answered.
Is that owned by any chance by the Shaker Mill Pond? Is that land?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it is. This is Dan.
Is there a policy for when there is a no watering ban? Does that relate to
Well water?
the well water only?
As far as I know, it's town water, but I could be wrong. Dan might know better.
Yeah, it's just our town water. Private wells, we don't regulate.
And there are 7 houses on that pond
Yes.
At the moment,
at the moment. That's going to be more.
Well,
Yeah.
the homes that are across that are currently under construction on the other side of the pond are significantly set back from the pond. So,
We're at time.
Okay, thank you. So there could be seven homes drawing from the pond.
well, in theory, there could be. I know that one of the homeowners already has a sprinkler system installed, and it's connected directly to the one meter that he has at the house for drinking water.
Okay, he doesn't draw from the pond.
No.
All right. What are your thoughts, George?
He's on mute.
You're muted. You're muted, George. There you go.
If we want to put any kind of restrictions on use during a drought, I think we're going to have to do it through an order of conditions, which means he's going to have to file a notice of intent.
How about you,
And
Jen?
we'd want something that would carry over,
Right.
beyond the ownership, his ownership.
Hmm.
And I also like to, maybe we could ask DEP what their feelings are.
Well, and I did talk with DEP about this, and so Scott's research into gallons per minute, number of zones, gallons per sprinkler cycle was in answer to DEP's question, how can you demonstrate that your withdrawal won't affect the ability of a pond to maintain its water level?
Mhm.
And so I asked Scott to ask the sprinkler company how much water would be withdrawn, because I don't know how else to answer that question. So if any of you have an idea about how to answer that question other than doing the exercise we just did.
It kind of sounds like it's a surface water calculation, right? So the size of Shaker Mill Pond, how much does 1,400 gallons of water take from that surface area, right? Which I think, as Scott indicated, is probably about that much.
Right. During a drought, if it's only that deep, then that much is.
Well, if we consider that the pond is approximately 5 feet deep, that's my understanding from Joanne. And if last year was an example of a fairly significant drought, the water level in the pond was still about 4 feet. So, did it drop? Yeah, it did drop. It was noticeable, but did it go dry? Absolutely not.
Yeah, I think there are 5 categories of drought. and we maybe got into the third category, but we were there for a long time. And we're now we're in the second category of drought. In part of the state. Ayer is in the first category of drought already in April. But it's Bennett's Brook that feeds Shaker Mill Pond, and that has a very big watershed in the town of Harvard.
So it's a pretty robust pond.
Yeah.
We're way over, so.
Okay.
Would it be any different if Scott were to drill a well in his backyard and then do it from there?
Would it be any different? Is that your question?
Yeah, I guess I'm just trying to play a little devil's advocate, right? So I mean, if he dug a well, I don't know, 50 feet
Hypothetically.
deep or whatever, he'd be drawing essentially from the same water table, and he would water his lawn, right?
Mhm.
Yep.
Right, and by, well, we get into really complicated hydrology here. So the base flow of a stream is held up by groundwater, water table. And at the end of the day, it's all connected. The water is all connected. And I think that modern sprinkler heads are more targeted and much less wasteful of water. And
Yep.
Scott, I'm sure you know that there are watering restrictions in place right now, odd, even, no
Yep.
watering during the day.
And I'm fully prepared to abide by them. I have them sitting right here in front of me. I read them. I know you sent them to me. I also saw them posted on the town Facebook page, so.
Yep. Well,
Okay, are there any other comments or?
I think the only real key thing to me really is the ownership of the water and the land below the water and stuff like that, and where Scott's property line ends. Not so much a concern for us, I would think, but I think it becomes a concern for you, Scott.
well, and that's a question I can easily answer when I'm in the office. But, and I agree, Mark, I think it is an important question to answer. Because Scott, you can't just go putting a stake in anybody's.
No, I've been under the assumption that it was town property.
Yeah.
I mean.
I don't know. So, but we'll find out.
Okay. Yeah, again, I'm trying to, could I have just gone and done it and then, asked for forgiveness later? Certainly, but that didn't seem right. I'm trying to be upfront with everybody and do it the right way. So.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
We
do own into part of
Oh, apparently my wife is looking up our
the plat.
the plat map, and we do own a part. I don't know exactly what the distance is, but we do own out into the pond some distance.
Okay.
I mean, according to the plat map she just pulled out that we got from the builder.
Yeah.
So, when we bought the property or the house.
Well, that's not too uncommon.
Yeah, I think that is the case considering the docks and such that have been put in, but I'm just not sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, one of my neighbors, the same one that has a sprinkler system currently, has gotten approval from you in the past to actually put a dock out into the pond. So he hasn't done it yet, but I know that he's gone through the process and gotten approval for it. So.
Any other comments, thoughts?
Beyond this is probably something we should take up in our regulations.
Mhm.
Right. When we get to them, right?
Yeah.
Whatever that's going to be. So is this something that we want to vote on, or do we need to have more additional information?
I think we need a little more information. Scott, if you could send us a copy of that plan, the plan of your land. That would be
Sure.
great. And then I can look on the town GIS too.
Yeah, it's very small print. It shows not just our land, but I think all 7 plats.
Yeah, that would be great.
Okay.
We appreciate it, Scott. Thank you so much for coming.
It's my pleasure. Thank you very much. I hope to hear from you all soon.
Yeah. Are you new in town?
Well, 2.5 years now after we moved from the West Coast. So
Okay. Well, you moved to a great place.
so far we're very happy. So thank you.
Thanks, Scott.
All right. Have a nice evening, everybody.
Nice to meet you, sir.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye. Next item this evening is the public hearing continued notice of intent on Jonathan Drive, Cross Country Maine, Water Main, Air Department of Public Works, DEP file number 100-0455. And we were out there this past Tuesday, right? It was Tuesday. Yeah. And took a look. So anyone have any discussion about what we saw out there on Tuesday or thoughts?
Looks fine to
Yeah.
me.
And just a quick one. Did this easement already exist? I forgot if you said that.
We have an easement on 29 Jonathan Drive. We're working on the easement across the rail trail, and we're working on the easement for National Grid.
Okay.
So that's where it's at.
Okay, all right. Yeah, that was kind of my question. All
So
right, thanks.
you can't proceed until you have those two set up?
Correct.
Any thoughts, Jen?
No, I thought it was fine.
That's okay. George?
No, looks good.
Okay. Anyone else? Joanne? Anyone listening or viewing?
No, I think it's a brilliant solution that's going to make a very positive impact on that end of town.
Yeah, I think so too. Okay, we ready to vote on this?
Mhm.
All right, is there a motion to approve the notice of intent on the Jonathan Drive cross-country water main, Air Department of Public Works, DEP file number 100-0445?
So moved.
Second,
Okay, it was moved by George Bacon, seconded by Mark Phillips. We'll do a roll call vote. Jen, how do you vote?
Aye.
George, how do you vote?
Aye.
Jess, how do you vote?
Aye.
Mark, how do you vote?
aye.
Chair votes aye. It was approved unanimously. Orders of conditions next week?
Well, I'm off next
Oh,
week.
you're off for next week. Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Congrats.
But when I get back, Dan, what we usually do is kind of a little back and forth. I'll make a draft. You give me your comments. And if the commission is okay with any edits you want to make, we'll incorporate them and sign at I think I've got this penciled in for the next meeting on the 13th.
Yeah, unless there were any problems, it would be a 3-minute.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep. But it also sounds like if we take another meeting that we're not holding you up.
That's correct. Yeah, but you're right. We're still working on the Article 97 land and
Yep.
National Grid easement, so it wouldn't be a problem.
Okay, well, so just to give ourselves a little breathing room, then I would recommend we put this on for the 27th to sign, and that'll give us lots of time for the back and forth.
Does
Is
that
still good?
hold up putting this out to bid or anything?
Yeah, it could, because I probably could start bidding it potentially. Actually, no, it doesn't. Never mind. The Article 97 has to go through the state legislature too. So no, it doesn't. It's not just town meeting.
All right, as long as we're not holding you up, then we will continue until the 27th. Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Okay. All righty, so a motion to continue the notice of intent. Jonathan Drive, cross-country water main, Air Department of Public Works, DEP file number 100-055 until May 27th.
So moved.
Second,
All right, it was moved by George Bacon, seconded by Mark Phillips. Do a roll call vote. Jen, how do you vote?
Aye.
George, how do you vote?
Aye.
Jess, how do you vote?
Aye.
Mark, how do you vote?
aye.
Chair votes aye, passes unanimously. All righty, now we have our next item this evening is a request for determination of applicability, Snake Hill Road right-of-way, DEP. Again, we were out there on Tuesday and took a look at that. Any comments from commissioners?
This is the dog park, one by the dog park.
Yes, the sidewalk extension and that, what was it called, a bioswale?
Yeah, right of way bioswale.
I missed this one, so you guys will have to tell
Oh,
me
that's
how
good.
great it is.
Oh, you missed the best one.
Yeah.
Probably.
And then, as you indicated, it's all in the right of way, correct?
That is correct.
George, you had asked on the sidewalk about fencing.
Yeah, about adding some sort of barrier at the top of the detention basin. Maybe just a guardrail would be adequate.
Yeah, I was thinking maybe like a what's it called? A split wood rail type of fence. Because it kind of look nice at the dog park. Maybe something wooden.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm gonna add that in. I didn't now, but I think that's a good idea just to, because it is close to that forebay.
Yeah, that would look nice, a split rail.
Yeah.
And it could even be low, you know,
Yep.
it wouldn't have to be wouldn't have to be 3.5 or 4 feet tall. It could just be
Yeah.
a couple of feet.
Yeah, you can get posts with two holes and sink them pretty deep and have 2 rails.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a good idea.
Yep. Any other comments from commissioners or anyone listening, viewing? Is there a
So
motion? Oh, I'm sorry.
I always have things to say.
Okay.
DEP's only concern with this on the RDA side of things was, and if I remember, if I'm going to remember this right, Dan, is this one of the ones that you were applying the exemption to, or was that just the other two?
No. Yeah,
Okay.
that was the other two.
All right, then I don't have anything to say after all.
Okay. Anyone else?
Under our regulations, I guess this would be in the outer part of the buffer zone. And I think technically doesn't it require a waiver? If I read the regulations right.
I mean, for no disturb? Or,
Well, isn't it in the inner? I have the regulations right here in my binder, which is red, not green. Oh. Oh.
So just to set the pace, we have 13 minutes left total in the meeting.
Thank you.
Section 2B3.
In our regulations,
Yeah.
section 1, section
buffer zone protected.
B3, outer 50.
And are we 9 or 8:30 today? I'm looking at the agenda and see 9, so that's why I'm confused.
Yeah, I think Joanne said 90 minutes though. Am I correct in that?
We didn't get our extra time.
Oh, okay.
We asked and we're not granted extra time.
Oh, bummer. Okay. Sorry.
Yeah. Outside the first 50 feet.
Yeah, I thought we had waiver again because it is in the right of way. Is it not? The road right of way?
It is in the right of way.
So it says outer 50-foot resource area buffer zone, activities outside the first 50 feet of a non-riverfront buffer zone shall not adversely affect the form or function of the wetland resource area or the inner 50-foot no disturb area. So I don't think that needs a waiver unless, so section 3 is the waivers. And it was my understanding that the waivers applied to anything going on in the inner 50.
Correct. I think that was what our intent was, I believe, Jess, right?
Yeah. Well, I think I'd give it a waiver either way. So if it needed one.
Any other comments? You okay with that, George?
I mean, I'd give it a waiver either way too. It's just paperwork. So I'm willing to skip it for now.
Willing to skip it? Okay. Anyone else before we vote on this? Is there a motion to issue a negative determination on the RDA Snake Hill Road right-of-way project?
So moved.
Do we want to, before it gets seconded, do you want to add any conditions to this?
Well, what would it be, the fence?
Well, the fence, erosion controls, the usual conditions.
Okay, fence and typical erosion controls.
Yeah,
To be inspected by you or,
to be inspected by me. Yeah.
okay.
And Dan, you said you were going to have this designed by a landscape architect? Or that was the existing basin?
No, that was just, yeah, I was just saying the existing basin was done by a landscape architect when we were out there. Yep.
All right, well, maybe you and I can work together on the plants that are going to go in this thing.
Yeah, we could do that.
All right, so conditions, the fence, erosion controls, inspected by me. And Dan and I will work together on the plant selection.
So
Okay.
moved.
Second.
All right, moved by George Bacon, seconded by Mark Phillips. We'll do a roll call vote. Jen, how do you vote?
Aye.
George, how do you vote?
Aye.
Jess, how do you vote?
I,
Mark, how do you vote?
Aye.
Passes unanimously. Alrighty, next item this evening is request for determination of applicability, Nashua Street right-of-way. We were out there on Tuesday and took a look. There was discussion about was that a cross culvert, or I mean, we were looking at the extent of the wetlands that were upstream from the crossing. Did you have a chance to look into that, Dan?
Yeah, I did. Can I share my screen?
Sure.
Let's see if we can. Yeah. Do you see my plan?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah, so this is our from our drainage mapping. And you can see down on the bottom here on Washington Street, we have some drainage that collects in Washington, but it discharges over on Coolidge. And this is actually the beginning of that intermittent stream that goes all the way to Central Ave. So then there's really no other piped drainage or anything. So I use the contours to draw an approximate drainage area in this yellow hash here. So that's what's, going into that culvert there is this area up here from these houses in between and this paper street here.
Yeah, so I would say that's not a defined up gradient wetland system or stream channel or which makes me think that the culvert in Nashua Street is just a cross culvert.
Okay. Anyone have any comments?
mhm.
Typical conditions for the construction? It'll be what, half a street at a time, and
Yeah, that should be what they do. They'll start downstream like we kind of talked about and then work their way upstream.
yep. And you'll do typical erosion control and
Yeah.
let
So we should
Joanne inspect.
Yep.
Anything else you'd like to add on to that?
I don't think so.
Make sure.
So there was that tree.
Oh yeah, that little guy.
Oh, yeah, and so, yeah, so in the no net tree loss policy that I still think we have, but we don't really have.
It was thriving.
Yeah, for every quarter inch of diameter, we need 6 more trees. I think that, yeah, that would definitely apply.
All right, any other discussion? Okay, is there a motion to issue a negative determination at the Nashua Street right-of-way for DPW with typical erosion controls and to be inspected by Joanne Christoph?
So moved.
Second,
It was moved by George Bacon, seconded by Mark Phillips. Do a roll call. Jen, how do you vote?
Aye.
George, how do you vote?
Aye.
Jess, how do you vote?
I,
Mark, how do you vote?
aye.
Chairman votes aye. All righty, we got, moving on. We have a continued notice or continued.
Yep.
I'm sorry, it's an RDA. I'm sorry, what?
it's the high, yeah, it's just the.
Yeah. It's a RDA, I'm sorry. At the Highland Avenue right-of-way. And again, we were out there on Tuesday. Anyone have any comments about that particular?
This one is coming from a defined wetland system.
Yes, it is. Thank you, George.
It's coming from a defined wetland system.
Yes.
I don't see how you guys could consider this as an RDA. It's just there's just too much water there. And it's a big hole in the ground and yeah, so I would recommend that you ask for a notice of intent on this one.
Any other thoughts from commissioners?
Sounds right. Got 2 out of 3, Dan.
Yeah.
What do you think, Mark?
Yeah, no, that was a little bit more involved for sure. So yeah, I think we need to know why.
Yep, I think I might agree. Jen, you happy with that?
Yeah, I missed this one, so I'll go with
Oh,
the
you missed
group.
that one. I'm sorry. All right, so I think we would like for a notice of intent on this particular
So-
project.
Yeah.
Okay.
So here we have to issue a positive determination of applicability.
Motion to,
Is not good.
all right, is there a motion to issue a positive determination at the Highland Avenue right-of-way?
So moved.
Second,
It was moved by George Bacon, seconded by Mark Phillips. We'll do a roll call vote. Jen, how do you vote?
Aye.
George, how do you vote?
Aye.
Jess, how do you vote?
I,
Mark, how do you vote?
aye.
Chairman votes aye. Thank you, Dan,
I think, yeah, thank you guys.
well, for all your time. It's been a pleasure, actually, getting to know you.
Yeah, it has. Well, maybe you can spend a minute on your next item.
Uh,
oh, no.
We're gonna have to watch how fast we can do this, Dan.
All right. All right. Have a good
Done?
night.
So
We have 2 minutes.
we have 2 minutes.
Mhm.
Oh, 2 whole minutes for office updates. Awesome. I can do it.
Can you do it?
Yeah, you ready?
Ready.
Buckle up. Today's Earth Day.
Earth
Yay.
Day.
The poetry path is up. If you haven't had a chance, I think it's going to be at least nice on Saturday. It's pretty neat.
Oh, it's so much fun. Highly recommend it. Yeah.
It's good. Excellent news. We received the grant from the Wild and Scenic Nashua River Stewardship Council for our Signs on Waterways project. Yes, Jen's got it covered. There are more details to come. We don't have any more details, but we've received complaints from 2 different residents on Groton Shirley Road, on the Groton School Road end of Groton Shirley Road, about a mutual neighbor possibly doing work in a resource area that's either BVW or riverfront. John and Jess and I went over, you really can't see what this neighbor is up to. We were sent a picture that's really indeterminate. And tempers are running hot.
Is this something where we need to try to get on his property and see?
Well, or maybe write a letter.
Write a letter? Yep.
I don't
I'm
know.
guessing we will have difficulty getting onto the property.
I think we probably will. Oh, and it's 8:30, so before it gets to be 8:31, we are all set with water and wetland to get them going on the weed treatments. They've offered to hold a town hall style meeting to introduce themselves to residents on the ponds or in the town in general and talk through the process. And I think we should take them up on that. It's included in the contract price. And if it's all right with you all, I'll talk with Joe and try to set, it'll be by Zoom, so maybe a lot of people will attend.
You expect that to be off cycle from our normal meetings, Joanne?
Yeah, offset. Yep. And the last thing, super quickly, and we'll talk about this more sometime. Faith Salter has offered to organize a water chestnut pull with Appalachian Mountain Club volunteers in Grove Pond. And I mentioned something to her about the little arsenic problem. And I have looked everywhere in the files to find the lab report from when you guys had the water chestnuts tested. I find the contract, but I don't find the lab report. So if any, George or Jess, if you could turn that up. You remember that, George? Or do you know anything?
I don't know.
I could give you a date, Jess, because I've got the contract. Faith put me in touch with somebody at DCR who works in the Lakes and Ponds program, and he and I have a phone call set up for when I get back to talk about this.
Might that report be something that DPW might have with regards to the well and everything, maybe?
Well, we know there's arsenic in the sediment. That's not the question. The question is, if you pull up a whole bunch of plants that have been growing in arsenic laden sediment, and then you take those plants to the transfer station, say, are you transporting a bunch of arsenic? That I guess that's the question is.
Right, no, but I'm saying if you can't find the report, for whatever reason, maybe the DPW may have saved a copy of that report also, is all I'm getting at.
Well, maybe if they ever got a copy of the report, I don't know. All right, that's all.
Okay. Well, nice job, everyone. It was got a lot done. Motion to, or I should say, any other comments or updates from anyone briefly?
I wish we'd had more time with Steve because I really found that really interesting. And I felt horrible cutting him off.
I know.
Well, I know. I did too, but yes,
Is the pandemic.
I didn't want to do it, but it's like, oh, you got to go.
But that was interesting. So
Yeah.
Well, I'll send him a nice note.
please do.
He's a wonderful man.
Yeah. Okay. Motion to adjourn.
I'll move.
Second.
Okay. All in, or we'll do a roll call. So it was moved by George Bacon, seconded by Mark Phillips. Jen, how do you vote?
Aye.
George, how do you vote?
Aye.
Jess, how do you vote?
I
Mark, how do you vote?
Aye.
Chairman votes aye. We are adjourned.